So notice, your closure assignment only goes to question 68. Question 69 is the weird one that says, make a bar graph for each question, ranging your confidence from 0 to 10. If you are anything below an 8, you need to come see me. So we're not going to make a little bar graph beside each problem. I'm just going to expect that you advocate for yourself, and we'll either work with a partner or work with me if you are not confident on the questions. What questions do we have, like housekeeping type questions? Then I got to teach you a little bit of stuff, and then it's going to be your time to work.
It's your time,
Huh? It's already up. It's the red and white frame around the screen. See it? See the red and white around the screen? That's how you know it's recording. Yeah. Yep. So, sorry, no lifesaver. Thank you very much. Awesome. Alright, so I finally fixed my settings that the video disappears. So, you know, us, our brains that always want to do funny things when a camera's pointed at us won't do that. So, closure. Closure doesn't really have a lesson that goes with it. So fortunately, it's map testing week, and we were able to use our shorter classes to kind of, like, this will work. In the future, I'll just probably give you a class day to work on stuff, but we need to wrap up yesterday's lesson still. So get out that crane problem. Remember we were talking about the dude wanted to fold like 1,500 cranes? What method did I show you guys yesterday, Aiden? Cross multiplication. That we said will always work.
Oh.
Yeah, that seems like a miscalculated decision, right?
Yeah, but I went to that totally, and it totally worked. So I
There are 3, actually, methods that are all terrific for solving proportions. Now, I'm 10 years into teaching middle school, and one of the things that just like I have confidence that we could fix is you guys overreacting before I get to tell you what's going on. So don't overreact. But we're going to talk about the giant one, and some of you are like, what? You don't even know about the giant one. But sometimes, I don't know why, kids already hate it for some reason. It's not, if you hate it, you're wrong. Like, sorry, it's a really good strategy. Yeah, sorry. So, if you hate it, that's fine. You're allowed to, have an incorrect opinion. That's, you're allowed to do that. And then we're going to talk about undoing division, because we always like to undo things that are annoying us. And then fraction busta. You can say buster, but, I like to say busta, like Busta Rhymes. So, the giant one. So here's the deal, like me telling you the actual details. Max, put your mask on. The giant one, I will never actually ask you to make the giant one unless you want to. If you're like a person that wants to do it, great, awesome, sweet. What we're saying with the giant one is anytime I take a value and multiply the top and bottom by the same thing. So let's say we have a half, and we double the top, and we double the bottom. Did I change that fraction?
No.
Kind of, right? Like the numbers changed. If you want to be real 7th grade about it, you'd be like, well, technically, that's different than that. But they represent the same quantity, right? Whether it's a half or whether it's 2/4, we know it would mean that. So the giant one is just justifying if I multiply by the same thing on top and bottom, it doesn't change the fraction. It is an equivalent value. So technically, this is 1. A fraction with a number on top of itself is 1. Because a number divided by itself is 1. Since we said that if we don't know how to multiply, which I don't know about you, but I don't know how to jump from 7 to 1,505. If we don't know how to multiply, what do we do? Divide. divide backwards. Be careful saying big. So grab a calculator, divide 1505 by 7.
My brain, the calculator.
I'm not shutting down school. I think we might have figured this out yesterday, so you might have it written down, but what is, when I do that division, what do we get? Just shout it out. 215. So we would put 200 on top and on bottom, and nothing really changed. Well, now we could figure out the x, though. Well, x would be 2150, right?
Yeah.
So that's method 1 for today. I'm trying to go quick so I can give you time to work.
That's what you answered.
Yeah, that would be what x is. So we multiply by 215 on top and bottom. On bottom, it gets us to what we want, and then on top, it tells me my answer. So fractions, often people think are annoying because the division that's happening on bottom. So why don't we fix that and undo it? So to undo division, what's the opposite of division? Multiplication. So the reason, sorry, I'm going to write this bigger because I know some of you can't see it. We have 10 over 7 equal to the thing we're trying to figure out divided by 1,505. So I can fix this and get x as just x if I multiply by 1,505.
You can't get that because you don't know what it is. You need an undefined number.
I need space. Here's what's happening. Write this down with me. 10 over 7 equal to x over 1505. Right? Isn't that what it is? I think. We are technically multiplying by 1505 over 1. If you want to be technical. You don't have to put the over 1, but this helps some people. It helps me. What do I get when I have the same number on top and bottom? 1. But am I allowed to just do this over here?
No.
If I do something on one side, we got to do it on the other side. So guys, what's actually happening, the in-between, you don't have to write this, is my right side becomes 1505x. Oh, come on. Of course I'm out of space. Over 1505. And this reduces out because giant 1, right? So this gives me 1x. And I do the math over here, and well, this is 15 over 7, right? We have to divide that. So we do have to do that division. So we're gonna have to grab our calculator. But this is gonna be our answer, right? Whatever this division gives us, which is 2150, right? Or 215?
No,
2150.
Where did that last zero? Yeah. In the 15 multiplied by 10.
We multiplied by 10 right here. Thank you for asking. Always ask when you're going to write something down and you don't know why it happened. This multiplies right here. This multiplies right here. So 15050 and 1 times 7 just keeps the 7. Questions on undoing division? Yeah.
If you got really good at it, could you just skip the whole step where you make the giant one?
You do not have to write this step.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So really, what we could do is say, hey, because this is the division I want to get rid of, cross it out, write it over here, and really, because this math doesn't matter, right? If you tell yourself, oh, it's just going to make x. So yeah, thank you for asking me. Yeah, you do not have to write the in-between. That's just to make sure you understand what's happening. And then, probably, arguably, the coolest and I don't know if cleanest is actually appropriate, because the math gets maybe slightly complicated. dude. It was 10 over 7, right? Not 7 over 10.
Recording this lesson.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, no lifesavers for you.
Well, you actually didn't give me my one from yesterday, so yes, I do get a lightsaber.
Calling me out.
Yeah.
Dang.
In front of you.
Oh, in front of all of my subscribers. This problem is annoying for 2 reasons, actually. Please write this down again. I know, I'm sorry. It's not too many numbers. It's annoying because the x is divided by 2150. And it's also annoying, as we just saw, because the 10 is divided by 7, and eventually I gotta do that, unless Busta Rhymes. I want to multiply by 2150 to get rid of the division by 2150. So I have to do it on both sides. But also, I want to multiply by 7 because I want to get rid of the division by 7. So I think about the fact that, okay, I want to do it over here to get rid of this 7, but I can't just do it over there. So I also do it over here. Now, here's the thing. I'm not just pausing for suspense. I'm waiting for people to look because this is kind of like you need to see. This, gone now. But, hold on. Because this is where people screw it up. If I take this away, I have to take this away because it's only gone because the 7s canceled each other. Over here, same story. The 2150 will cancel the 2150. And when this all cleans up, all I have to write down is the answer I got from this multiplication, which, okay, 2, 1, 5, 0. Oh, I think I wrote that down wrong. Or wait, is it 2150? Yeah, I think so. I think I wrote that down wrong in the last slide somewhere. And then equals, what do I have over here?
X times 7.
X times 7, which is better said, 7x. Oh, wait. It's the same thing.
Now you
It's
know
the
X
same
is.
thing. Because now we have to do this division divided by 7 because to get a single x.
3071.42.
So I think I wrote something down wrong because we should have gotten the same answer. But those are, 3 methods. Giant 1 says do the same thing on top and bottom. Undo division says if I only want to undo a division, just do a multiplication. Fraction Busta says if I want to undo both, multiply by both. Kyle.
I think it's because it's X equals 1505.
Yeah, see, that's what I was just checking on, is what did I write down wrong on this slide? So, this, it's fine if you wrote it down like this, because it doesn't matter. It can be a different problem, as long as you understand what we did. So, now, to practice these things, let's do a couple together. So, let's do undoing division right here. So everyone write down 216. We'll make sure we do the math right here. Over 10 equals x over 0.93. Now, we've pretty much agreed that we're going to be using calculators this year. So, let's talk about how to best type this in your calculator. So I've had a couple people already come to me and say, I know this answer is wrong. What happened? And it's order of operations. Your calculator's dumb. Sorry, but your calculator's dumb. If you don't type things in right, it can't think for you. Right? It doesn't know what you're doing. To type in what we actually want, what do we want to do here? To undo division. Who can raise their hand and tell me? It is often a word that I'm gonna make you then say more. Like, times what by what?
216 by 10.
Not just 216.
216x.
Nope.
216.
We want to multiply 0.93 on both sides, right? So this fraction is going to get multiplied by 0.93. Now, when we did it on the last page, we just did top to top and then did division. But I'm here to make your life easier. So watch. If you want to do all of this together, we can just type in 216 over 10 is our fraction, but put it in parentheses. Because it's a fraction. Contain it. Right? Then times 0.93. Yeah, you can.
Just showed you how to do it.
It's just the division symbol. It is just that slash is the division symbol. So, the other way that we can do that is do 216 times 0.93. So, (216) times 0.93, and then do the division by 10, we'll get the same answer, 20.088. So guys, it doesn't matter how you do it. The way that I showed you using the parentheses is a little faster. But we get to that same answer.
The first time I did the fraction, it did not get that answer.
Then you typed it in wrong.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so that's what I mean by like practice typing stuff in your calculator and like double check with yourself, is this right? Did I type it in right? Did it do the math right? Now, let's do fraction busta.
Fraction busta.
So, if you can't see this, I'll write it bigger. It's 15 over 80. 15 over 80 equals 1600. Sorry, x over 1600.
No, we're just doing, this isn't another method, it's just a different problem using the same method.
So, we're going to practice fraction busters, but we're going to be a little smarter with it. We said when we multiply by 1600, this will cancel out. So, really, the 1600 only has to do math over here. Right? Are you with me on that? Because when I write it down over here, these cancel out. So remember, this is going to cancel each other out. Actually, we could highlight that or something and say, oh yeah, these work together. So then what do I still have to multiply by over here?
Now I want to highlight it.
The 80. So we still, sorry I don't have the screen to write it, but we're multiplying by 80 on the right side also.
I can't really see it.
I'm gonna switch to a new page. 15 over 80 x over 1600.
I can't really see it because you're like.
So remember, my 80 with my 80, these, actually what we should say is reduce out. Because they become 1. Cancel kind of makes it sound like it's 0, right? So it reduces out the 1600 and the 1600. What do I get on the right-hand side? 80x. Guys, you should be practicing this with me because it's low risk right now. Right? There's no risk if you get it wrong, so I'm doing it with you. On the left side, we got to do this multiplication, right? So, somebody do that for me, please.
2,400. 24,000.
Let's say, no, it's bigger than that.
I already said it.
Is it 24,000? We always want to double check, so 2 calculators going is a good thing. Guys, do not immediately put stuff in your calculator before you think, can I do it in my head? Because your brain is a muscle. If you don't use it, it disappears. Zeros wipe out, right? A 0 cancels a 0 when it's top bottom. So a 0 on top is gone and a 0 on bottom is gone. Guys, what's 24 divided by 8? 3. So this is 300. That's it. You don't need a calculator. I'm fine with you using a calculator when we need it, but don't use it if you don't need it. Exercise that brain. So 300 equals X. Fraction buster. That was fraction buster because we destroyed the whole thing at once. Yes. Oh, I went back to the wrong place.
And then what was that one with the 7 and the...
That was undoing division, I believe. If you just multiply by one thing, it's just undoing division. 300. So then, yo, up here, one more thing. One last thing, then you're done. I'm serious. Sometimes the giant one is actually super easy and, like, is the best way. How can I multiply, right, guys? We never, ever, when we're talking about this sort of stuff, never, ever add. We're always multiplying, dividing. How do I get from 8 to 12? Shout it out. 1.5, right? 1.5. So that's just what we do on top, and that's the giant one. That's it. That's giant one. That, like, it's a nice method. It's pretty quick and clean. So if we multiply by 1.5 to get from 8 to 12, we multiply by 1.5 and get to 33. Question?
Couldn't you just do 12 divided by 8?
Could.
And then use that for the giant one?
And that is 1.5, because 12 divided by 8.
I know, but could you do that instead of guessing?
Well, it's not a guess. If we know that 12 has an extra half of the 8, it's not a guess, it's math. The rest of the time is yours to work on closure, which I don't even know how much time that is. The rest of the time is yours to work on closure. You will need graph paper. You will need graph paper for the closure. Right over there. Huh, you guys have 4 minutes. Was anybody else absent yesterday? Anybody else absent yesterday? Needs to do this for me. Anybody else absent yesterday? Max. Max. The voice in the sky called you. Guys, you have 3 minutes. I guarantee you could get a problem done in that time. I think they're all over there,
I
actually.
just want to staple my graph papers from the
Absolutely. I know what you mean. Yep, I know what you mean. Oh, is closure not in your packet? Yeah, closure's in your packet. Guys, closure is in your packet. It is in your packet. And it only goes to 68. It's on purpose. It only goes to 68. In bold, at the very top, it says you will need graph paper to complete this assignment. Oh. Hey, diamond problems? Ah, see, that even threw you off. Diamond problems. This is my fault, because I'm says copy, don't copy anything I already put on the worksheet. You do not need to copy the diamond problems. They're there for you. Just fill them in. Just like finish them. So any homework that says copy this when I've already put the thing there, don't copy it again. That's silly. Don't be silly. And you're leaving in 1 minute.
Yeah, so the medical budget or the lab.
This is gonna need graph paper. So, I'm sure you can do that one up there, but this is gonna be graph paper. Hey, Anna. Anna brought up a really good point. Real quick before you leave. I'm getting it pulled up. Anna brought up a good point. You could do 63 up in this space. That's fine. But you must do 65 on graph paper.
And 67.
Yeah, I believe, yeah, that one too. Well, I mean, you could get away with that on this paper, but I mean, why? Like, just do it on graph paper.
See ya.
All right, get out of here, guys. Goodbye.